What's up, people? Jonathan from Higher Key here. This video is how to play lo-fi piano chords. Make sure to like and subscribe for future tutorials and free stuff. So, a quick intro. Key is important when choosing what chords you're going to play. That'll determine what chords go together. Obviously, you can switch and play kind of jazzy. Lo-fi is really jazzy. This video is not going to get that complex. We're just going to stick with some simple chords you can play. I'm going to use the key of C, so all white keys. That is also A minor and a bunch of other different modes. So music is extremely complex, obviously. I'll try not to blow your mind. Let's get into it. So basically, if you know the key of C major, it is start with the C in the chopsticks. These two black notes at the bottom of them, they're the chopsticks, and that's a C. And a C major is a C, E, and a G, 1, 3, 5 on the scale of C. Now we want to just add other notes into this to make extended chords. So we can add an A, and we have a major 6. We can add a B, a flat 7, and we have a C7. We have a B. We have the 7th, which is a major 7, which is my favorite chord. And you can also add even higher and play like a C major 9, or then flatten the 7th, and you have a C9. So those are some of the major extended chords. In the minor, you have a C minor 6. You can see we flatten this 3rd here. Really nice and lo-fi, jazzy, dark, sad. So we got a minor 6, a minor 7th, a minor 9th, also a personal favorite. So you can obviously get more complex than that, but you can do a lot with just these chords. And so we'll kind of start there. So, you know, with your left hand, you're playing with the 1, 3, 5 on just a major C, but then you gotta add your second finger. So on your right hand, it'll look like this. But essentially, for most chords, extended chords, you want to play with your right hand 1, 3, 5. So you're doing your first finger, second finger, third finger, and then your 5th or your 4th. So, and you can kind of walk up the piano. But if you're sticking with this formula, most things will sound good, and there'll be nice extended chords if you're just doing 4 notes. Always having the root triad at the bottom. And you can play it with your other hand if it's more comfortable. Or if we start in A, we'll get some minors. So minor 7, the minor 9, minor 6. It's out of key, so it doesn't really work with our scale that we're in. But the idea is to get comfortable playing these 4-note chords. And the next thing to understand is that for as many notes as there are in the chord, there's as many ways to play them. So for example, these are called inversions. So it's really great to know the different inversions of a chord. And so if we play a C6, C, E, G, and A, we can play 4 different combinations of that chord. And it's still the same. Or if we do a major 7, go a little lower. So if you're always playing the root note, like if we're playing a C major 7, if you're always playing the root note in C, then it's gonna sound kind of generic. And for example, this is a C major 7 over G, and it just has a nice, darker, lusher tone. And I'm just playing different inversions. Sometimes you can go back and forth between 2 different inversions in the same bar or 2, and it'll almost sound like the chords are changing, but they're not. You're just inverting. So for A minor 7, it's A minor 7 is the same as C6, the same notes. So it's a little confusing as to which one is which, but let's do D minor, a D minor 7. So inversions are really great, especially if you're just playing, want to sound all classical. You can just be like. So that's important. You kind of got to make love to the chords and really understand which notes are in them. So become comfortable with different scales, become comfortable with different chords, and really get to know that chord and that scale. I really like F major because I make kind of bass music a lot, and the problem with C is that the C note doesn't really have much bass or sub bass, so that's important to know. They're the easiest chords to play, but don't always have the nice sub that you want in there. So it's good to know. However, even within the C scale, you could play in D, a D7 to a G7 to an A minor 7 or something. So you could be like. So you don't even need to play in C in the scale of C. So, anyways, a really important chord progression to know is called the 2-5-1. It's a jazz progression that is, I don't know, it's kind of the root of jazz, or the most important thing that happens in jazz. And so if we look at the C scale, the second note in the scale is D, the fifth note in the scale is G, and the first is C, obviously. So if you play a minor second note to a seventh on the fifth, and then a major seven on the one. So it'll sound like this. Play over it a little bit. Play a beat. Do some inversions. Okay, so that is the 2-5-1. That's really great. Always sounds jazzy. Very great for lo-fi. You can obviously switch that up and do like a 1-2-5 or a 5-1-2. Let's just see a 5-1-2 is like. Although the 2-5-1 really is the most jazzy thing ever. So then, basic chord theory, the 1, the 4, and the 5 always go together. That's kind of the root of all blues music, is doing like the 1, the 4, and the 5. A lot of times they'll do it in a seventh, like. So you can always, if you're looking for what chord to play next, you can always go between the 1, the 4, and the 5. You can also play the 6 minor. So for example, in C is the 1, the A minor is the 6. Okay, so you can always play the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6. Those are the 4 chords that are basically the root of all pop hits, like so many pop hits. So no matter what key you're starting, no matter what your root note is, if we're doing C, we can do C chords and then F chords and G chords and A minor chords. So the 1, the 4, and the 5, and the 6 you can just play all the time, and that's if you're starting in C, right? But you can also start at F and do the same thing. We could start with an F and then play a fourth, and then play the 6 of C, which is a D. And then the 5 of F, which is a C. So 1, 4, 5, or 6. Or you could do it in A and then play the 1, the 4 in D. I'll do it on the root note, try to show you here on the scale. So if we're in A major, let's see if we're in A minor. We can't really play this sixth because it's not in the scale. Or is it? No, it's. Oh, yes, it is. It's the F. 1, 4, 5, 6. Well, it's not really the sixth. It's kind of a flat sixth. But for this scale, it works. So anyway, those are some ideas when you're looking to expand, beyond a 2-chord progression. The 1, the 4, and the 5, the 6 is always a great way to go. I guess that's about it for now. If you have any questions, put it in the comments, and I'll make more videos soon for you. Might as well jam out on the way out.